Once upon a time, on a ranch far, far away from New York City, there lived a farmer by the name of Old MacDonald. Old MacDonald's farm had many different kinds of animals. There was a dog who loved watching TV. There was a cat who drank soda instead of low-fat milk. There was a bunny who never left her cage. There was a horse who never exercised. There was a pig that never slept. There was a bird who loved eating pizza. Oh, and there was a little girl who loved to come visit Old MacDonald's farm every Saturday so she could play with the animals. The only problem was, because the animals didn't eat healthy foods, get enough exercise, or get enough sleep, they weren't much fun to be around. After trying to play with the animals and getting no response, the little girl went up to Old MacDonald's and asked why the animals were eating unhealthy foods.
Because they like unhealthy food.
The little girl wasn't satisfied with this answer. She asked Old MacDonald's if she had ever given them any other kinds of foods.
Have you ever? No.
The little girl then said, "How do you know it's what they're supposed to eat then?"
How do you know it's what? Because they like what I give them.
Okay, said the little girl.
Okay.
Later that same day, it began to rain. And the rain turned into thunder, and the thunder into lightning, and from the sky fell a man who, after dusting himself off, identified himself as Captain Kirk.
I'm Captain Kirk.
"Who's that?" said the little girl.
Who's that? I'm the captain of the Starship Enterprise.
"Oh," said the animal. As Captain Kirk looked around, he got confused and asked Old MacDonald where he was.
Where am I? In my farm. This doesn't look like a farm. It looks like a town. It's not a town. It's my farm.
Bewildered by the situation before him, Captain Kirk began to walk around the farm and observe the animals. Suddenly, he noticed the dog who was watching TV and said, "This dog shouldn't be watching TV. She should be playing outside."
Outside.
And with that, he picked up the dog's remote and threw it off the farm. But suddenly, something amazing happened. Once outside, the dog started to run around and play, and she never felt so good. Next, Captain Kirk went up to the cat who was drinking soda and said, "This cat shouldn't be drinking soda.
This cat shouldn't be drinking soda.
It should be drinking low-fat milk."
This should be drinking low-fat milk.
And with that, he picked up the bottle of soda and threw it off the farm. And the little girl ran to the store. The little girl ran to the store to get the low-fat milk. And when she came back, the cat drank the milk, and to everybody's astonishment, was 10 times stronger and happier than she ever had been before. Next, Captain Kirk went over to the bunny who never left her cage and said, "This bunny shouldn't be sitting in a cage all day. She needs to be exercising."
This bunny shouldn't be in the cage all day. She should be exercising.
And Captain Kirk opened the bunny's cage, and the skeptical bunny slowly left the cage, and after taking a few deep breaths of the fresh air, proceeded to hop around the farm feeling better and more healthy than she ever had before. Next, Captain Kirk turned his attention to the horse who never exercised. He went up to the horse and put a saddle on the horse's back and yelled, "Giddy up!"
Giddy up! Yeah!
And with that, the horse galloped around the farm for the first time, astonished at how good exercising could make her feel. Next, Captain Kirk went over to the pig who never slept and asked the pig to close her eyes.
Close your eyes.
The little girl then came over to the pig and rubbed the piggy's back until she fell asleep for a 20-minute power nap, from which she awoke with a burst of energy and readiness to face the day. Finally, Captain Kirk noticed the bird who was pecking at a box of pizza in the corner of the farm. He went up to the bird and said, "This poor bird shouldn't be eating pizza. She needs nutrients from worms."
This poor bird shouldn't be eating pizza. She needs nutrients from worms.
And with that, Captain Kirk picked up the box of pizza, threw it off the farm, and almost hit the cat, but luckily missed. And from the ground pulled a worm that the bird reluctantly tried, but suddenly felt so empowered she began to fly higher than she ever flew before. "Well," said Captain Kirk, "my work here is done."
Well, my work here is done.
From which he had fallen out of, and the farm animals, Old MacDonald and the little girl, lived both happily and healthily ever after.